The primary drain on a trades business scaling between 1 and 5 million isn't usually the cost of labour, it's the cost of wasted opportunity. If your trades business is currently operating on a traditional sales model, it's likely every lead that enters your system carries a high fixed cost of discovery. You'll probably send in your most expensive people, either yourself, an estimator or a QS, to look at jobs before you even know they're qualified. My name is Jack Govier-Wiggins, I'm the founder of Scovo Trade, and across our portfolio of trades partners who generated over £50 million in combined revenue, I found the most profitable trades firms all share a specific operational trait. They treat the site visit not as a sales tool, but as a technical verification step. To protect your margins, you have to invert the traditional sales model that almost all trades firms are currently using. You need to move the close to the front and the site survey to the back. This stops your growth from being limited by how many miles you can drive in a day and turns your sales process into a scalable asset. Now, I understand firsthand how difficult it can be building out an efficient sales process. And because I'm always asked how to do it, I wanted to show you exactly what works for our own trades partners right now. So I'm going to give you the exact frameworks we use to build 8-figure sales engines, and hopefully it will help you too. To grow your trades firm to 7 or 8 figures, shifting to a virtual sales model is absolutely vital because the traditional approach creates a massive operational bottleneck. The problem is that most trades firms try to combine 3 high-stakes tasks into every single site visit: qualifying the lead, selling the project, and taking the technical measures. You're essentially betting a huge amount of time and money that a lead is ready to buy before you've even confirmed they're the right fit for your company. Let's look at the actual maths. If you factor in the marketing spend, the vehicle overheads, the salaries, a single site visit can cost a trades business up to £500. Most trades firms fail to track their customer acquisition cost accurately because they ignore this operational burn. If you only close 3 out of, say, every 10 site visits, you're effectively spending thousands of pounds in extra costs for every new customer you win. Scaling under the traditional model isn't impossible, but it does make it 10 times harder. In a regional or national model, those numbers are completely unsustainable. To build a high-performance trades firm, you have to stop tying your growth to your physical mileage. You need a sales process that separates these stages entirely, disqualifying time wasters before they ever become negative impact on your bottom line. That separation begins with the digital audit. This is an initial assessment where we use an internal sales associate to gather the exact information we need to price the job remotely. Before we even look at a project, I always like to make sure the customer provides a standard set of data, clear photos of the area, and a short video walkthrough noting their specific project details. This puts the ball in the customer's court. If a lead isn't willing to spend 60 seconds sending over some photos, they're rarely a high-intent buyer. By the time your sales lead sees the file, they already have the visual proof they need to identify 90% of the project variables without ever leaving the office. This data provides the foundation we need to present what we call a risk-adjusted price. Now, this pricing model is how we overcome the single biggest hurdle to virtual selling, and that's the fear of inaccuracy. In a sophisticated trades firm, you aren't pricing the project, you're pricing the risk. Instead of trying to find a perfect number on site, we use a tiered proposal system. We provide a starting from baseline quote with clearly defined technical contingencies. We're 100% straight with the client from day one. We tell them we would rather give you a transparent baseline now and account for the variables than give you a guaranteed price today and hit you with the extras once we've started the job. This immediately builds trust and rapport because you're the one being honest about how the process actually works. You aren't losing the job on a technicality, you're winning it because you're showing them that you're the only trades firm professional enough to manage the project's risks up front. This level of clarity is exactly how we eliminate the confusion gap. The confusion gap is the space between you sending a quote and the customer actually understanding it. Most trades firms spend thousands of pounds to get to the point of quoting, then half-ass the delivery. The customer is left with questions about timelines, payment structures, and scope changes that more often than not go unanswered. This just means that your leads go cold and you lose jobs. When this happens, most trades business owners make the mistake of blaming the customer, calling them tire kickers or saying they're only after the cheapest price. But in reality, the customer just lost confidence because you stopped leading the process. The virtual consultation fixes this because it gives you total control over the sales environment. In a traditional site visit, the customer can derail your flow with random questions. Virtually, you lead them through a pre-built sales presentation that closes the confusion gap by answering all of the objections before they even think of them. This is a game changer for scaling. You can consistently optimize that presentation to improve your conversion rates over time, and because it's a repeatable system, you can teach anyone to follow it. You're no longer relying on individual skill or charisma, you're relying on a proven process. By the end of the call, the customer isn't just sold on the price, they're sold on the clarity of your system. This clarity is delivered through what we call the virtual consultation. During this online session, we share the screen and start building a collaborative proposal in real time. The psychology here is really powerful because we aren't selling a quote to them, we're letting them build it with us. So we start with a baseline price and then we open the door for the customer to customize their own project. By discussing and toggling optional extras live on the screen, the client becomes the creator of their own quote. This creates immediate investment. The decision shifts from accepting the, say, 20,000 baseline price, which they've already mentally committed to, and moves towards the £8,000 in extras they've just added themselves. They aren't arguing over your price anymore, they're deciding on their own additions. To drive that final commitment, we show them the live company schedule. This is the ultimate form of social proof, because showing a busy, organised calendar creates instant urgency and you never have to be pushy. You aren't a contractor begging for work, you're in high demand, offering them one of the few remaining slots available. It flips the dynamic completely. They aren't doing you a favour by hiring you, you're actually doing them a favour by fitting them in. Once that urgency is established, you have to lock it in immediately. So we move straight to the commitment by securing the signature and getting a fixed booking fee. This is usually between £250 and £500, and we do that right then on the call. We're super transparent with the customer. This fee secures their slot in the calendar and covers the cost of the final measure. This is one of the most critical steps because it ensures the customer has skin in the game. It's enough of a commitment to prevent cancellations, but not so expensive that it creates unnecessary friction, especially since we credit the full amount back against their project total once we start the work. By taking this payment up front, we ensure the business is cash flow positive from day one. And this is the real secret to scaling past your local area. Most trades firms stay trapped within a 20-mile radius because they simply cannot afford the risk of sending an estimator on a 3-hour round trip for a lead that might not close. When you stay local, you're capped by local demand. You can't force more people to live in your town, and this is exactly where I see trade owners make a massive strategic mistake. Because they can't find more leads for their core service locally, they start adding new services to the same area just to keep everyone busy. This almost always backfires. Suddenly you aren't a specialist anymore, you're managing 10 different types of jobs, juggling different materials, and trying to train a team to handle new skills. It will break your fulfillment systems and kill your margins. In my experience, expanding your radius is almost always the superior move over expanding your list of services. A distance gap is easily solved with a vehicle and a fuel card, but a skills gap requires you to rebuild your fulfillment systems and operations from scratch. By moving to a virtual sales model, you disconnect your sales process from your physical location. You stop being a local contractor and start operating as a regional specialist. It allows you to select the highest margin, most profitable projects for a much wider market rather than being limited by whatever work happens to be available in your town. You keep your team focused on one thing they're world class at while tapping into an unlimited supply of leads. Whether the job is 5 miles away or 50, the risk is gone because your travel and site survey are already covered by the confirmed revenue through the booking deposit. When you remove that risk, you completely change the nature of your trades firm. Scaling a trades firm isn't a matter of working harder, it's about building a system that protects your time and your margins. By implementing the virtual sales engine, you move away from being a trades firm whose growth is capped by their local geography and start an operation with high efficiency in the regional area. You've moved from a sales process based on maybes to a predictable operation. You've used the digital audit to filter out unqualified leads. You've used risk-adjusted pricing to build trust and a collaborative proposal to boost your conversion rates. Most importantly, you've ensured the business is cash flow positive on every customer before you've even committed a single person to site. The market leaders of the next decade won't be the ones with the biggest teams, they'll be the ones with the most efficient cost of acquisition. If you found this useful and you want more insights we use to scale our own portfolio of trades partners, sign up for 8-Figure Insights on our website. It's totally free. But as always, thank you for listening, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.